Welcome to Bizworld. I'm Nurin Razmyn. The government needs to implement fiscal reforms to ensure that the Malaysian economy remains on a sustainable and solid track. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said this is one of the steps for Malaysia to start out towards becoming a high-income economy based on humane values. In his statement on Facebook, the Prime Minister, who is also the Finance Minister, said that the fiscal reforms will be focused on targeted subsidies and revenue-based expansion. This is to create fiscal space that can be mobilized to improve the people's well-being. The matter was raised during yesterday's Fiscal Policy Committee meeting, which discussed and examined the latest Malaysian economic scenario. Anwar added that the government will also halt the symptoms of debt addiction in order to restore the confidence of foreign investors. For this purpose, the Debt Management Office will be strengthened, in addition to streamlining the role of the Investors Relation Office as the primary reference centre for market investors. Meanwhile, Anwar said the Northern Corridor Economic Region, NCER, aims to realise 367.8 billion ringgit in investments by 2030. This is in line with NCER's plan to become a world-class economic and technological hub. The Prime Minister, who chaired the NCER meeting, said this will be achieved by prioritising three key industries, namely advanced services, high-value manufacturing and modern farming. He also said the two catalysts for facilitating this initiative are environmental, social and governance practices and digitalisation. Between 2021 and 2022, the NCER has realised 34% or 197 billion ringgit from approved investments. Companies from 6 Asean countries are keen to grow their businesses in Malaysia, with the country being their top choice after Singapore this year. HSBC Malaysia's head of commercial banking, Karel Avni Doshi, said this is the findings of a survey by HSBC involving 600 businesses in Malaysia, Singapore, the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam.
One of the things that we think will work really well is the public and private partnership. That is one of the things that will help actually accelerate the growth to put Malaysia up on the map. And the ASEAN chair, Malaysia is also the ASEAN chair for 2025. And we have a pivotal role, and that puts us in a very strong position.
She added that 59% of respondents place expanding their businesses in ASEAN as top priority, with 95% choosing Asia Pacific as their main destination, followed by Europe and the Middle East. Of these, Malaysia was the popular choice after Singapore for the business focus. Other popular destinations are Indonesia, Thailand and China. Local manufacturers have adopted a more cautious stance on Malaysia's economic outlook this year, tempered by lower consumer spending against the backdrop of higher inflation and living costs. In a statement, the Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers, FMM, said consumer spending would likely be more restrained with the hike in service tax rate and subsidy rationalisation program. This would also exert pressure on inflation and the cost of living. The FMM expects Malaysia's economic growth to settle at the lower end of the official forecast of 4 to 5% this year. A better second half of 2024 is also expected as global monetary conditions ease. Touching on the local currency, FMM noted that the ringgit exchange rate will end on a firmer footing this year as developed markets' central banks are expected to cut interest rates. Bursa Malaysia ended broadly lower today amid profit-taking activities. At 5 p.m., the FBM KLCI declined 7.82 points to 1,530.6. Losers outpaced gainers with 645 against 422 counters, while 450 counters traded unchanged. According to Bank Muamalat, market players remained on the sidelines awaiting statistical releases from the U.S. The U.S. Personal Consumption Expenditure Inflation Report, which is due on Friday, will indicate the next policy move by the FED. And that's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Nurin Razmyn. Keep tuning in to TV3.